Listen, man. When I was, if I can tell you a story, right? So when I was, I'm gonna say 10 years old, there was a lunch lady and a janitor who taught me a lot of things. A lunch lady and a janitor. And a lot of times we look at those positions as insignificant, you know, especially, you know, like a janitor, at least when I was growing up, right? That was my perspective. But I remember like playing a video game. How many people in here like video games? Come on, all right. So we like video games. So when I was growing up, one of the dopest video games when I was playing was Tecmo Bowl, right? So I know they don't have it now, but it was on Nintendo, and I love that game. Me and my boy Remy, who was my best friend at the time, we played it day in, day out, just like all day long. That's all we did. And I used to smash Remy. I used to smash him religiously. And so what happened, Coach, is how I got used to winning all the time. Like it was my crib, my rules, right? So that's the way that it was. But something happened where Remy started like getting a little bit better. And I didn't understand how he was getting better because what I thought I was the only person in the hood who had the video game. Because they all migrated to my house. We played the game there in my crib. But something was happening where Remy was getting better. So me being sneaky, I went over to his crib. His mom was home. And she allowed me, because I'm like, yo, he's up to something, man. So I went in his crib to find out that this dude, he had the game too. His mom wound up buying the game for him. So I thought I was the only one with the game, that I was the one getting better while he would not have the opportunity to get those reps, right? So time went past to where Remy really began to close the gap, and I'm still winning. And you have to understand, man, that I got used to winning. Just like many of you in here, I heard that you went through a phase where you didn't do so well, but last year was a phenomenal year. Right, so that was where I was at. I was always winning. That was my sweet spot. I got used to it. Like, yo, I can get addicted to this. Like, this is the only way. But what happened is that when Remy started getting better, and I'm doing the same thing, but Remy was doing something behind the scenes that I didn't know what Remy was doing because I wasn't at his crib when Remy was working. But it was this one day when I got frustrated when Remy was about to win. There was 2 buttons on the video game. It was 2 buttons. And on the video game back then, it was one that said power, and the other one said, do anybody know what the other one said?
Reset.
Reset. See, they're around my age. Reset. One said power, one said reset. And because I didn't want to lose, and because I was used to winning, right? I was only practicing from a place of victory because that's all I knew. I didn't know how to respond when my back was up against the wall. So Remy, who did not know how to win, he went in the trenches and he started grinding. He said, you know, how can I get the advantage? How can I get the advantage? Because Remy had a brother. Remy had somebody to practice with. I didn't have a sibling. But when Remy was about to beat me, your boy hit the reset button. I'm like, nah, bro, you didn't win. And granted, he was pissed, but you know what? At 10 years old, when I hit the reset button, it didn't stop there. When I became 19 years old, when Nick Saban came to Michigan State and challenged me because I was sweet, All-American. But you have to understand, I didn't know how to practice in the trenches. I didn't know how to stay on top. I knew how to get there, but I didn't know how to stay on top. So when my back got against the wall, your boy hit the reset button. And so my question to you is, like, you was real sweet last year. Like, even probably walking in the halls, like, people know your name. You know, when the helmet on, bro, they don't know you. If you're not the star, they don't know you. But, you know, now that you start winning, everybody know your name. Like, you're real sweet around there. But my question is, like, that's cool. But that doesn't give wins. So my question to you is what are you going to do to stay on top? It's the reason why Tom Brady and them stay on top. I'd be a fool to say I can't give respect to Tom Brady even though he's from Michigan. They know how to stay on top. They know how to stay on top. They do the things that everybody else don't want to do. They do those little things. Like me, I didn't know how to do those little things. I had the talent, bruh. My high school, we was ranked number 2 in the nation. Not in the state, in the nation. So I was used to winning. But when I got to state, like, dude, everybody All-American. Like my 4.42, that wasn't abnormal. Like, bruh, everybody runs a 4.42. So my thing is like, what are you going to do to stay on top? And the first thing I want to tell you, that number one, that you have to understand, it's not about you. I know you probably thought it was, but I promise you it's not about you. I had to realize that it's not about me. I forgot my why, right? Because I started being driven by going pro. But when that was no longer an option, I started seeing the losing. My character started jacking up. I stopped doing the little things. So my thing is not about you. And quite frankly, it's never been about you, but we made it about you. It's about your community. It's about Friday night when everybody in the community come to see these boys get on the gridiron and play their hearts out. It's about the man next to you. That's what it's about. It's never been about you. It's never, even as a human, it's not about you. When I went to work at the prison, like, I didn't want to do that. But it was about me providing for my family. I didn't want to go work in the prison. I didn't want to do that. But what happened, I had to do what I had to do until I can do what I want to do. So when now I can travel the world speaking. But I had to do that. It wasn't sexy. Because I had issues myself. A man murdered my brother in broad daylight. So I'm like, yo, anybody who go to prison, anybody who do anything bad, yo, they need to fry. Because of my experience. But what I found out when I went to work at the prison, I found out like, bro, Shon, it's not about you. Like, you're not so perfect. It's not about you. And we make it about us. And it's never been about us. Number two is like the details. What are the details? Like, what are you going to commit to stay on top? Let me hear from you. What are you going to commit to stay on top? I can't hear you. All right, I'll call you out. What are you going to do? What are you personally going to do to not hit the reset button? Because you know what? They're going to come after you this year. Right? They're going to come after you. Because last year, the previous year, they didn't think y'all was that sweet. So it was a circle on their schedule. Like, oh, we got this as a win. And there's some people out there still think that was a fluke. Think it was just all about emotion. They don't think that this is a way of life. They don't think it was a way of life. They just think that this was a one-hit wonder. You know how one-hit wonders come out with that dope song. You don't hear them anymore. But my thing is, are you going to be a one-hit wonder? So what are you going to commit to?
Commit to the team.
What does that look like?
Just always, like, do everything to benefit the team and not yourself. Just not, like, everything you do is for your brothers. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let me hear you. Yes, sir.
Staying in the weight room for everyone, for the team.
Say that again.
Staying in the weight room. Team, you can work in the weight room. Get yourself stronger if you stay on top.
Absolutely. Come on, let me hear some more. What'd you say?
Watch film.
Watch film. Watch film. Let me tell you something. Film is extremely important. Film is the most important. One of the most important things. I didn't watch my film when 2019. Coach, I didn't watch my film until 2018. You're like, what are you talking about? My last football game at Michigan State University was 1997. 1998, I was given the choice so you could stay on the team and not get any playing time, or you can take your scholarship and become a normal student. Know why? Because I became a cancer. Because I didn't know how to handle pressure. Remember, I hit the reset button at 10. At 19, I hit the reset button when Saban came in and he challenged us. He told me that I should go and play offense. He told me basically that I was too small. My father, when I was 17, told me I was too small. So that pain that was never addressed, I never got to a place to heal it. So when Saban came in and said the same words, I responded from a place of pain. And I rejected everything that he was trying to do. He was pushing me, but I was pushing him away because it was pain that was unresolved of him saying I was too small. So here I'll get to a place to where I'm starting. We got blew out by Nebraska 55-10. And he's like, you know what? Nobody has a starting spot. So instead of me responding by saying, no, I'm going to earn my spot back, like because I was a starter, guaranteed almost at least a shot at the pros, starting as a sophomore, my thinking was like, yo, you out to get me. You don't want me to start. So I became a cancer. So over time, he is like, bro, I don't need you around. I don't need you around because you're a cancer. So he said, yeah, keep your scholarship, but you're a cancer. I don't need you around. So I made excuses. I went back to the crib telling everybody it was Saban. Saban did this to me. Saban did that to me. But bro, I went and watched my film. So last year in 2018, I was about to go and speak somewhere, and I'm a believer, and I heard God tell me, like, bro, you still, this is my term. I heard him say, bro. All right. So he said, hey, you still haven't watched your film. And I knew what he was talking about because I still didn't want to watch it. But he was talking about it was the last time I played. I never watched it because it was too painful. It reminded me when I lost my starting spot. And that was when I was 19 years old. And I was 43. And I still didn't watch that film. And many of us, we don't want to watch the film because it's too painful. Not just life, but even after a game, you have to watch it. If you got to get to the spot. It may be uncomfortable, but you still have to watch that film. You have to see where you make those adjustments in your character. Make the adjustments in life. Clean your room. Right? Be the first one there. Right? Don't call her the B word. Right? Just because everybody else is doing it, bro, that's not sexy. What's going to separate you? Watch your film. Always assess. That's what puts you in a position to where you continuously dominate. I'm always assessing as a father. Am I the father I need to be? Am I the husband I need to be? Am I the speaker that I need to be? Like, I can't stand up here and tell you to watch your film, bro, and I'm not watching my film. I can't tell you to be a man of integrity and I'm not. Right? Like, you can't do that. So my thing is, that's huge, bro. That's huge in more ways than one of watching your film. Brothers, as a brotherhood, you need to watch your film. You need to be able to check your brother. Like, yo, you need to watch your film, man. Like, did you watch it? Look at your footwork. Did you get to the spot? Did you get to the spot? And don't make excuses. Own it. Own it. Right? So those are the things. I'm going to stop there. Those are the key things that I want you to learn. Right? That I want you to take from my life. Right? So, number one, don't hit the reset button. Because you're going to have opportunities this year to hit it. Like when they hit you in the mouth and you don't think, if they're telling you that, you know what, you guys were a fraud. Don't you go back to, well, yeah, we were 1-9. Like, yeah, that might have been a fluke. Nah, bruh. Nah, you was built for this. You was built for this. This is a way of life. It's not something you do sometime. It's a way of life. All we do is win. That's my motto. Like, bruh, all I do is win. I turn every single loss into a lesson. So when they pop you in the mouth, they're going to come out swinging. They're going to come out talking. But my thing is like, yo, I was built for this, bruh. Like, we here. We South Line. Like, that's what we do. We started this thing. We started this. This group started this. And we're going to leave a legacy. So don't hit the reset. Know that it's not about you. And it was never about you. It's about your brothers. It's about this community. Right? Thank you. Thanks, Coach.